Let's get to this op-ed. The New York Times entitled, "I was betrayed by President Trump." Capitol Police Sergeant Aquilino Gonell, who was injured during the January 6th attack at the Capitol, writes in part this: "My right foot and left shoulder were so damaged that I needed multiple surgeries. I have spent a year and a half in physical therapy for chronic pain that I have been told will never go away. My young son almost lost his father, and my wife had to quit medical school owing the stress and demands of my ongoing recovery. 5 of my colleagues in law enforcement died and more than 850 rioters were arrested. So many families have been ruined because of one man's lust for power. Even more galling are the Republicans who still refuse to provide testimony under oath and instead dangerously downplay how close we came to losing our democracy. The enabling of Mr. Trump needs to stop now. He should not only be banned from running for any other government office, he should never be allowed near the White House again. I believe he betrayed his oath to defend the Constitution, and it was to the detriment of me, my colleagues, and all Americans whom he was supposed to protect." And that's, of course, one more question added on would be, are there some legal issues that this president, should he be charged with something?
The thing is, it has to be so galling, and you read this from yet another police officer, another cop. It has to be so galling after these people were running around, these Republicans were running around for a year saying that blue lives matter and we love cops, and Democrats want to defund the police. They don't love cops, despite the fact every Democratic leader we had on said defunding the cops was a stupid thing. But here you have Republicans who actually, when push comes to shove, really don't give a damn about cops. Blue lives matter? No, not if they're getting the hell beaten out of them, not if they're getting sprayed with bear spray. These Republicans see Donald Trump and the Trump Republican Party see police officers getting the hell beaten out of them.
Oh,
right?
My God, what do they care about?
What do they say? What do they say? Donald Trump says the crowd that was beating the hell out of these police officers, beating them to a pulp, beating them into an inch of their lives, beating them so badly and putting them through things that some committed suicide. And most police officers that were there blamed these riots for the death of several officers. What do? Donald Trump calls them patriots, says they're very smart.
Says he loves them.
He thanks them, says he loves them. Congressmen, Republican congressmen, what do? They said, oh, they're just tourists. Oh, okay. So if somebody beats the hell out of a cop in your town, what are you going to just call them tourists? Why is it that you really hate cops if they're not doing your political bidding? No, I just want to know why Republicans hate police officers. Why won't Republicans stand up for police officers? Why won't Republicans stand up for cops when they're getting the hell beaten out of them in Congress? They love yapping about how they support the blue when they go on the House floor, but when police officers are getting eviscerated, when they're getting brutalized, when they're getting beaten to death, suddenly they love the rioters. They love the thugs. They love the people that are beating them up and beating them to death. They love these Republicans who are calling these people tourists, these Republicans that don't want to get to the truth, that don't want to really understand why police officers were brutalized that day, the same liars who said that they love cops. They're the ones that are stopping everybody who's responsible for the beating of and the eventual death of these police officers. They're stopping justice from happening. So they don't love cops. They hate cops if cops are actually doing their job and trying to stop their party from not being able to steal an election.
So
it's heartbreaking that I belong to a party that I thought was a law and order party. That's the words. Those are the words we used. And those were the words we used our entire lives. And they said, support the blue lives matter. No. Republicans hate cops. If you listen to the Republicans that are trying to stop those of us who want justice for people who brutalized those police officers on January 6th, you can't say you love the cops in one situation and then not seek justice in another situation where police officers are getting brutalized, Mika. It just doesn't work that way. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad that
These
my former
Republicans,
party cares
any of
so
these
little
people,
about police officers.
Any human being would seek justice if this happened at their home.
Yeah.
But this is the people's house.
Yeah.
This is all of our house. And this happened. And they don't see an issue here? Who exactly are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about Donald Trump, because Donald Trump said he loved these people that brutalized police officers. We're talking about Republican members of Congress who stood in the way of every investigation. You know, Democrats wanted a bipartisan, bicameral look at this. They refused. House Democrats asked Kevin McCarthy if he would be part of a bipartisan process. He refused. You had members of Congress, Republicans, of course, that were actually standing at the door, were going to help police officers stop the mob from coming in and killing everybody inside the House chamber. Within a couple of days, we're saying, oh, they were just tourists.